On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, and spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses.
So unless you guys have been living under a rock recently, you already know the news, man. It's been radiating all over the country. NBC, Fox, CNN, everybody's talking about one name, and that would be Nancy Guthrie, okay? Now, if you guys don't know who Nancy Guthrie is, you might know who her daughter is, okay? And that would be Savannah Guthrie, the famous Today Show talk host. Now, if you watch Savannah Guthrie and the Today Show and the whole cast and everything, you would know that she has a very good relationship with her mother, okay? Her mother goes over to her house often. She has a sister. It seems like a tight-knit family who's living the American dream. You know what I'm saying? Savannah is one of the top talk show hosts in America, and I feel like that could be one of the reasons why recently her mother got kidnapped. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with her political affiliation or what she talks about on the news, but all we know so far is that of January 31st or around February 1st, approximately, right? So around midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning, Savannah Guthrie's mother got kidnapped. And it wasn't just a regular, we'll tie strap her and take her out the house and you know, execute a ransom note. They beat her the fuck up, because there's apparently blood trails all around the house as they lead her outside.
Something that we're seeing for the first time now that the crime scene is cleared, we could get a little closer. And the other thing we noticed, which I had reported earlier, is that the ring, here we go, this is the new video. Look at this closely, Connell, because this is the first time that we're seeing this. But you can see right there, see the blood? There's blood outside the front door very clearly. And then you'll notice the ring camera is also missing. And I asked the sheriff about that, and he said they're looking into it. Whether did the perpetrator pull the ring camera off when they were leaving? He said that's still under investigation.
Now, there's a lot of things happening. We have ransom notes coming in demanding $50,000 plus. We have people who are really close to law enforcement saying that it's Savannah Guthrie's stepbrother who did it. There's a lot of rumor circulating this case, so I want to take it from square one and figure out how we ended up in the position to where the stepbrother is being blamed as the number one victim. But I will tell you one thing, man. If she was kidnapped January 31st to January 1st, it's been about 4 to 5 days. This woman is 84 years old and she needs medication. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, the person who did kidnap her, whether or not it's the stepbrother or some random creep outside in the world, I don't think they took into account that if you really want to kidnap this woman and really make any type of money off of this, you have to keep her alive. And I think that's one of the main issues that the kidnappers are going to run into when they find out that the medication that she needs is nowhere to be found in a 50-mile radius. You're going to have to go to the CVS somewhere and hopefully her insurance goes through. That's not going to happen. So again, this is looking pretty bad, man. It's been a couple of days and there are no suspects officially. Now we're going to go through the back door and we're going to go and understand what people behind closed doors are saying, but officially the investigation has nobody. But anyways, let's go ahead and check this thing out. I think it is a very good reminder that if you do anything in social media, if you're a talk show host, you're a YouTuber, you know, you do all this media stuff, you have to be aware. You genuinely have to be aware that there are people out here who watch you every single day and they want to do stuff to you. Keep a gun in the house. That's what I always say. But anyways, let's go ahead and check this thing out because it is a crazy story. I want to show you the video that Savannah Guthrie had posted on Instagram, basically pleading to whoever took her mom to give her back.
On behalf of our family, We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure.
Now, I just want to pause it right here. I was watching this with my grandfather last night, and I didn't say it out loud, but in my head, I was wondering, why are they posting this video almost as if it's like as if they're pleading to the kidnapper, right? Why would you post that video and not just let the police deal with the investigation? Well, it's because apparently they've been receiving ransom notes left and right. Okay, now apparently there was somebody who was just trying to come up off of this situation and get a little money out of the family. But one of these notes that were sent, the police believed to be legitimate. So I could only assume that the only reason they're coming out here and posting this video is to kind of plead with the kidnapper and be like, listen, this lady has people who love her. Let's figure something out so that you don't just go ahead and kill her. I did find this video a little odd for them to post so soon, but I think it's because the family they're facing pressure. Whatever they received has them shook and has them leaving the response they're leaving right now.
She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
And again, see, this seems more to me like that ransom letter shook the family and they're trying to plead with the person. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, we live in the age of AI. You see a video of some old man talking about his life and his past experiences and his regrets, and it's 100% fake. You know, everything, 50% of the things across the internet right now, you can't even distinguish whether or not they're real. So it's going to be really interesting to see if she's alive and if we could even confirm whether or not she's alive. But one thing I don't understand is the amount of money, right? You kidnapped this lady, now you send a ransom note and you want $50,000. Something about this just seems a little bit off. Like, what is the real reason that you kidnapped this lady? Because a person like Savannah, you could get a lot more than $50,000 out of her. But anyways, let's continue.
We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
Now, this is where everything gets a little interesting, okay? The woman to the left of Savannah is Annie Guthrie, right? That's her sister. Her sister is married to a man named, I don't know how to pronounce this, Tommaso Cioni, right? She's married to this guy from Europe somewhere, and everything seems normal. He comes to the family, he hangs out, he's with the wife, everything's normal, right? But the night that this woman went missing, there were two things that happened. She took an Uber to the family house to have dinner. Then, when it was time to come back, Annie's husband took her back home. So now, the last person to have ever seen her breathing was Annie's husband, which would be Savannah's brother-in-law. So, you know, the detectives do what detectives do. They checked the Uber who took her. Uber was cooperative. Uber told them what happened in the story. And now what we're starting to hear from behind closed doors is that the biggest suspect in this entire case is Savannah's sister's brother, aka her brother-in-law. Now, I don't understand why he would want to kidnap the old woman and get $50,000 out of it, but it does raise a little suspicion knowing that he was the last person to ever really see her. He's the one who dropped her off. Apparently, her garage door opened. She went inside, the garage door closed a couple minutes later, and that was the last time anybody ever saw her. But anyways, let's move forward, and let's see what the police have to say.
So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family.
And this is apparently when she took the Uber, okay? So the Uber took her there, dropped her off, everything's cool. Police questioned him, everything's cool, right? So the Uber didn't do anything. But when she came back, that's when Annie's husband took her. And again, he's really close to the family. He goes to all the parties. We don't know what's been going on in his mind. And again, I'm not blaming him for doing anything. But what a lot of sources are saying online is that the police are looking at him very hard.
At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home. And we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes. It is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that.
Now, mind you, who would know that, right? Who would know that they didn't pay their subscription for their Ring camera and that there wouldn't be footage? And who would know to disconnect the cameras so that they wouldn't be seen with the little section of time that they were present? You know, it kind of screams that somebody knew what they were doing, or at least knew the family. And I've had a Blink camera before. It's not a Ring camera, but it's a Blink camera. You have to pay for a certain subscription so that you can see the full form of the video. If you don't get the subscription, it'll only show you snippets and pictures and things like that. So it's kind of like capitalism, kind of ruining your ability to protect yourself. But the fact that, cameras were cut, the person knew that there wasn't a subscription, it kind of seems like somebody knew who she was personally.
Well, we're not giving up on that. 228. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here, or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort.
Now, mind you, there were multiple ransom notes dropped, and there was a time frame given, 5 p.m. today, as of this recording. In Arizona, it's like 4 something or 3 something right now. So as of this recording, there is a deadline that's dropped for 5 p.m. Ransom needs to be paid, demands need to be met. So there is a really big possibility that we will see a development happen today. Hopefully, she's still alive, but who knows? Let's continue.
There have been, as far as we know, I think 3 ransom notes so far, 1 arrest. Are they all different? Or you think there's different authors behind all of them? Or
so the one that went to the media is the one we were currently investigating and working on. The imposter that I talked about, where an arrest was made early this morning, that there will be more information. We believe there's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying to profit from it, a total imposter.
And Sheriff, you started off the press conference by saying you believe that Nancy is still out there. Do you have reason to believe that she's still out there alive, or are you fearful of the worst case scenario here, that she won't be found alive?
Well, I'm certainly fearful of that. I think we all are. But it is we operate from a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Michael Rose from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't. But no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So my follow-up, you mentioned that you don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
That I would not discuss with you anyway.
Fox News.
Now, I do think if this guy, if Savannah's brother-in-law really wants to clear himself, he needs to have an alibi between him dropping off his mother-in-law and, coming back home. What did you do in between those times? What happened? And that would be an easy slam dunk for him, in my opinion. Tell him what you did. You're free to go. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that, the sheriff is saying that everyone's a suspect, nobody is excluded from this situation, kind of shows that they're not 100% sure, and a lot of people are pointing toward the stepbrother. But again, the media, they want to get the story first. They want to drop it. They want to be able to say like, oh, we posted this first. We're breaking the news first. We're such a reliable source, that they're starting to impede the investigation. You could tell when they bring up, the whole Saturday night situation, the sheriff gets a little uncomfortable. Clearly, they don't want the public to know too much, because if the public knows, that means the person who actually did it will also know what they're closing in on. So I think they're really trying to keep this really close to themselves. Me personally, I think that the stepbrother is 100% the main suspect in this case so far, but we'll find out.
Agent Edwards, will Bureau be submitting the DNA for investigative genealogical investigation relative to maybe hitting a relative, somebody if you will?
I would say the DNA aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
And a quick follow-up, does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with the family. We talked about has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
ABC affiliate Ashley Bolden. Right here, Ashley Bolden.
And I'm gonna be honest, man, this is looking bad. You mean to tell me there's 4 days that have gone by and no one, there's no proof of life, there's no connection with with the alleged kidnapper, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. I feel like that's a bad sign, especially for somebody who needs medication on the daily. Like, what are they gonna do? Again, like I said, what are they gonna do? Go to CVS and pick her up her medication? That's not gonna happen. So whoever did this, I'm really trying to understand the motive behind it. But anyways, before we go, I want to show you this article that was posted, basically detailing the issue between the brother-in-law and law enforcement. And it's basically revealing that behind closed doors, a lot of people are thinking that he's the one that's responsible for this. Let's check this out. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is now saying no suspects have been identified in the case of Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. We have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case, a spokesperson tells TMZ. Detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have had contact with Miss Guthrie. We are awaiting additional forensic results. There is an explosive new development in the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie, as a former CNN News Nation journalist has named Savannah's brother-in-law, Tomasca Sioni, as a potential suspect. Ashley Banfield, who previously hosted the Banfield on News Nation, shared some information she said she had received from a law enforcement source. Speaking on her podcast, Drop Dead Series, Banfield says she was told authorities have seized a car belonging to Savannah's sister, Annie, according to Parade. Now, again, I'm not the police of grief and how you're supposed to act when your mother gets kidnapped by a crazy man or anything. But I will say, when you watch that video back of Savannah, pleading to have her mother back, you look on the corner and you see Annie over there. She's kind of quiet. She's not really doing too much. She's not really crying. She's not really saying anything. She's kind of numb to the whole situation. Now, again, I'm not saying that Annie has anything to do with this, but it kind of makes you think, what more does Annie actually know about her husband and his relationship with her mother? And I'm sure that's causing serious tension within the family, 100%. Because Savannah's out here pouring her heart out to whoever stole her mom. Meanwhile, Annie's just in the corner like... Now, again, I'm not blaming Annie. I'm not blaming her husband. I'm just saying things are a little weird right now in terms of the way they're responding to this situation. She added that the source claimed there was some connection between the car and Annie's husband, Sioni, who the police may be targeting as a prime suspect in this case. Banfield made it clear that these are just musings and not evidence, while also noting that it is normal for the family to be vetted in cases of this nature. The veteran reporter also stated that Annie was the last person to have seen Nancy on Saturday night, January 31st. Annie reportedly had dinner with Nancy that night, but it's not known if Sioni was also present. But at the same time, I'm hearing reports that Sioni's actually the one who took Nancy home. Okay? Now, this is very preliminary. This is very early. I'm just covering what I've been seeing so far. But man, listen, stay tuned. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to keep up with the story because anything could happen in the next couple of hours. I'm not going to lie to you. But anyway, stay tuned Stay safe. I love you guys. I'll see you real soon. Peace.